Riot Games have done everything they can to stop Camille from jungling. First, they removed her ability to stun jungle monsters with her E, then they removed her ability to heal by hitting the jungle camps with her W. But it doesn't matter if they feel Camille deals 0 damage to the monsters or being unable to use their smite spell, I will jungle with Camille until the end of days. Why am I so obsessed with her? Well, first of all, look at how freaking cool she looks, and every skin she has makes her look even better. And if that wasn't enough, look at those legs. Okay, so she is, in my opinion, one of the best gankers in the game, if not the best. She has so much damn range with her E. You can stun champions with it. She can slow them down with W, which can be useful, but the most important thing is her ultimate that makes it impossible for enemy champions to escape. Like, it doesn't matter how many dashes they have, teleport or flash, they won't be able to escape Camille's plates. Before we get into it, if you want to start using Camille jungle, know that it's one of the non-main junglers that I've had the most trouble with trying to make it work. It's going to take a while to get used to, but don't get discouraged. I can assure you it does work. I would recommend you following this guy just so you get an idea on what Camille can do, and once you get familiar with her, you're gonna start trying different things, and if you find better variations, be sure to share the information too. Now let's start with the runes. Camille relies too much on her basic attacks to deal damage, and she is not as fast attacking at the beginning as you would want her to be, so lethal tempo is the way to go. It will give you that extra attack speed you will need throughout the match. This is how I use the rest of the runes, which is pretty similar to any other jungler, of course. Just know that it's really important, at least at first, to take as your secondary runes the inspiration ones. Cosmic Insights to get your smite faster, which you will need for your first clear, and also as a slowing ganks. And magical footwear, so you save that money to build your first 2 items faster, which is really important too. Your most important task when you start the match is to get a Tiamat. The major drawback of Camille right now is her first clear. He's rather slow and she ends with not that much HP left. Your best scenario is starting from blue side if you can. Camille doesn't have much area damage, so you can deal with blue and grumpy easier since they are single targets, then finish the rest of the jungle. And right after that, your priority is getting a kill from a gank, which, like I said, this is where Chi shines and shouldn't be that difficult to do. As soon as you get your money, you go get your Tiamat, and if they weren't able to stop you before buying it, it will be already too late. Now you can farm your jungle without a problem. Your first item should be a Ravenous Hydra, which will give you the sustain you need to be in the rift as much as you can. That way, if you gank and are left hurt, you can go back to the jungle and in fireball you get your HP back. And also you get the sweet AoE damage you were lacking. After that, I've tried plenty of different items, but from my experience, the one that made Camille the most OP is Trinity Force. As soon as you buy that item is where she turns into a killing machine. It gives you the amount of attack speed you need to get the most out of her basic attacks, while giving you extra damage each time you use an ability. That means that your Qs are going to hit even harder, which is your main damage output. From there, I would recommend you getting something that gives you more damage but also armor or magic resistance depending on which you think you need to the most. You're going to be throwing yourself at the enemies, so you need to resist enough to survive the damage bursts coming from them. Ganking with Camille is the best thing ever. Most of the time you can join the lane with your E, especially when the enemies are already fighting. Use Q and then R right away to prevent them from escaping. You use Q first to start charging it while the animation of R happens. After that, just finish them off with basic attacks. Another scenario is that if they have pushed too much, you can also walk towards them, use your W to slow them down, and save your E for when they try to escape with a flash or dashes depending on the champion. It's important to remember that your W should be used when enemies are out of range trying to escape or a similar situation, but never in the middle of a fight. The animation is too slow and it doesn't deal that much damage anyway, so you're better off just hitting with basic attacks, at least if your concern is to finish off an enemy. A neat trick is that you can use your E, and once you click in the direction you want to go, you can press W while flying to start the animation of the attack. If they are in range, they will be stunned because of your E, but if they are too far away, you will slow them down with your W. That is, in my opinion, the best use you can give to that ability, and more often than not is how you should start a fight. Camille should never start a team fight unless you catch an enemy in a bad position, but the best thing you can do with her is to wait for the fight to start so the damage dealers are distracted and you can jump in with your E and R. Remember, your ultimate knocks out enemies in range, so that will disrupt them too. Use that to your advantage. The idea is the same as in any gang or fight. Hit your E to one of the enemies, hit Q and instantly R to buy some times while your Q charges, and then release it to deal massive damage. If they are still alive, just finish the fight with your basic attacks. Most of the time you are going in and will never see the light of day again. You have to be okay with dying if you need to, but do your best to take 1 or 2 champions with you while also taking the target of the enemy team so your own team can deal damage for free. A really important aspect to Camille is that she is one hell of a laner too. At a certain point, if your teammates are not pushing the lanes, that's something you can do too. You can take down turrets pretty freaking fast and aim to take the most objectives while the other 9 summoners play the team fight dance, you know? Staying at mid lane playing for like 5 minutes going back and forth pretending they're about to attack, and if at some point they try to stop you from pushing, you can easily escape with your E anyway. You will make them lose time too. I've used this strategy especially in low elo where people do not always pay too much attention to lanes after 20 minutes. Like I said, I had a hard time trying to feel comfortable with Camille in the jungle, but once I did, it's such an amazing champion, especially since her ganks are unmatched. Don't get discouraged if you struggle too. If you would like more jungle content, consider subscribing, it will help me a lot. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you next time.